What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the HasanDaily broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MDs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is a very special day. You already know why it's a special day. I'm going to start today's conversations with Goyim, with the word Goyim. Apparently, Anti-Kasparian is Goyposting. And by that, I don't mean like she's posting slop. Well, I guess technically she is kind of posting slop, but she's Goyposting by saying, the Goyim are waking up now, bitch. I'm sorry. I'm going to have a different approach to this conversation because this is a relitigation of Zog. Zog means Zionist occupied government, and it is a David Duke. I think it was like a David Duke invention, but also it is a anti-Semitic meme because of that reason. But like, it's one of those things where it's also like there are a lot of Zionists in the motherfucking American government, right? So it's one of those things where people get really mad about it, and the discourse itself is like yet again another cycle of like, this is anti-Semitism, this is unacceptable. But with the Goyim situation, the Goyim thing is so fucking cringe. My take on it is perhaps the most like centrist, moderate, middle of the road approach. First of all, two takes. Number one, the greatest modern application of Goyim happened 2 years ago on this day, literally to this day. This has never been topped, in my opinion. Like, it will never be topped. Eat your goy block and shut the fuck up. The person who posted this had anger in his heart, had anger in his soul. He posted that thinking, Jews have made my beautiful WASP decadent dining experience on Delta Airlines into a Biscoff cookie, which ironically enough, I think about this post quite a bit. I reference this post quite a bit because this is, for me, it's a load-bearing post because Biscoff cookies are fire. Like, if you've ever had one of those goy blocks, you're like, yum, this is delicious. This is a cookie that is making this otherwise horrifying experience much more enjoyable. And everything about this post I've thought about, I've endlessly talked about alongside, you know, my favorite anti-Semitism PhD, Felix Biederman. But it's like down to the size of the goy brick, the goy block. The way he took the photo makes it look so massive. Just every part of it is perfect. It's a beautiful, beautiful version of this kind of like goy posting. I think it's the only time it's like funny is if someone else is sincerely using it in an angry moment. If it's like a straight up fucking neo-Nazi who is using this language sincerely. For me, this is modern art. Having said that, I cannot stand motherfuckers who are like, you see, Jewish supremacists rule over us and they call us goy cattle. You are not a fucking serious person, okay? If you are Gentile, if you are a WASP, if you are non-Jewish, and you sincerely utilize the term Goyim and like you try to like adopt it personally because you saw in the Epstein files a peek into what, you know, Jewish supremacist people refer to non-Jews, and it like bricked you, it one-shotted you, and now you're like, I can't believe it, like they're fucking owning us. Like, you're silly. You're a silly person. I guess the conversation literally goes to, do you genuinely believe Jews control America or not? Because if you believe Jews truly control America, then you're like, this is terrifying. They're calling us goy cattle. And that's literally anti-Semitic. Like, it's so fucking stupid. It's not Jews, it's capitalists that fucking control America. Are there Jewish capitalists that play a formative role in American foreign policy and like the grand design of capitalism? Absolutely. But everything beyond that is a simple distraction. It's very frustrating to see. And that's why I said it's cringe when Gentiles use it sincerely and hilarious when actually angry groypers use it to indicate a rabbi is going around making the food for wasps more bland during air travel. I don't know how many times I have to describe this to you. While Israel as a nation state has now taken on a much more significant role in directing American foreign policy, specifically in the Middle East. At the end of the day, America benefits or at least American capital, benefits in the exact same ways that they did with Iraq, in the exact same ways that they did with Afghanistan, in the exact same ways that they did with Libya, in the exact same ways that American capital thinks it will benefit in Iran. It is not a secretive Jewish cabal that has dominated the country on the basis of Judaism. Are there Jewish people in positions of power that really fucking love Israel? Absolutely. Are there Christians in positions of power that really love Israel? Also, absolutely. There's not really a lot of Muslims in positions of power except for Zoran, my Takia goat. Maybe a handful. So not even worthy of bringing up. But I think it's unimaginably cringe. And not only is it unimaginably cringe, it's like, why are you signaling that you are like a fucking dude on 4chan who's like 45 years old? It reminds me of the way that people think like Muslims talk about kafir, right? Non-believers. The point I'm trying to make is it's the same with fucking goyim. It just means like dumb non-Jewish person. That's the best way to describe it. Gentile is the kinder way to reference non-Jewish people, and goyim is like the dumb, like like John Fetterman. Well, I guess he's more of an ogre. You know, it's like gringo, gaijin, Yankee. Like there are numerous versions of this. It's not serious. I don't think we should even entertain this idea of goyim being a slur or race. It's identical to Latino saying gringo or Hawaiian saying haole. There's no institutional Jewish supremacy outside of Israel, so who the fuck cares? Exactly. The reason why it's like annoying me is because people are taking it super seriously because like they're like, well, Jeffrey Epstein is like a domineering, towering force in American politics. Like he was the load-bearing pedophile of American politics, and he was calling non-Jews goyim. Like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't reflect anything. Like, it doesn't reflect anything serious. And people that actually get super invested in this discourse are unironically and inadvertently, without realizing, genuinely leaning into this like Jews control America shit. I'm not just saying it because it's like, ooh, it's scary. Like Nazis use it and you shouldn't use it for that reason. Clearly, I don't give a fuck when Nazis use it. I think it's funny. Like I'm literally showing you that there are hilarious utilizations of the word goyim, especially when it's attached to other words like this. That's like a very funny practical application of it. I'm not saying you're like signaling yourself as a Nazi. At the end of the day, when I see people like Anna saying goyim, it does make me extremely uncomfortable as a Jew. A couple months ago, Zoomer on Twitter using goyslop, and someone pointed out that it is a literal Nazi term. They were like, oh my God, I had no idea. I'm sorry, I'll stop using it. That's the leaking effect of Nazism. Yeah, exactly. No, it is 100%. Also, goyslop is kind of a banger, but that's neither here nor there. We're not going to get into that. It is kind of funny though. But you know, like I said, it's just just the slop affix is good. It's good. It's you know, we're elevating Jewish voices. We're not saying goyslop, but there are a lot of people that don't know where it's coming from and they're using it. And I don't think people who are anti-Zionist should be using it. I don't. Especially, like, you can make jokes about it if you want. Obviously, I do all the fucking time. But, like, contextually, like, using it sincerely as a way to, like, fight back against Israeli influence or Israel is influence in American politics is fucking insane. Because you either think that Jews control the American government and they are like organizing on the basis of being a part of this international monolithic Jewry, or you think this is American imperialism and you know, Israel's existence hinges on its purpose for American empire, and at times Israel has been able to overstep its boundaries and also set up a pervasive network of influence in the United States of America that churns out a bunch of fucking self-selecting psychopaths who genuinely do believe in Israel dominating the fucking region. I'm starting to think Anti-Kasparian is anti-Semitic. Not gonna lie, this shit in the Tucker Carlson conversation doesn't look good. I have not talked to Anna in years. Anna is not a big fan of mine. I appreciate her advocacy against Israel. And I think as someone who is doing this kind of sincere advocacy against Israel, when you do stuff like this, you're basically giving a gift wrapped basket of goods to Zionists. That's number one. And number two, because they love being like, see, told you they're anti-Semitic, see? And also, even if you don't personally consider anti-Semitism to be as significant a version of hatred as like anti-black sentiment or Islamophobia, because there's no like systemic, for the reason that there is not any like systemic discrimination associated with anti-Semitism currently in American history, not throughout history, but like currently in contemporary American society. That still doesn't mean that you lean into that shit, because when you lean into that shit, it's unproductive. You all of a sudden are leaning into immaterial, nonsensical bullshit. Like many other MAGA, Carrie Prejean Baller is blending legitimate critique of Israel and Zionism with Christian anti-Judaism and America First anti-Semitism, and she's being met with the same repressive playbook Zionists use against critics on the right and left. It's a toxic feedback loop between Zionists and anti-Semites that only benefits the forces of nationalism, whether in Israel or the U.S. It's easy to spot the anti-Semitism of these MAGA Israel critics. Goyim is not a progressive rallying cry, nor is it any talk of being a slave to a foreign nation. We shouldn't cheer them on uncritically. You're placing a lot more emphasis on the language itself by being like, no, I'm doing this as a form of resistance, like Goy lives matter. You're fucking cringe. You're unimaginably cringe, and either aware of it or unaware of it, but you're being a fucking, you're being a little bit like a neo-Nazi. Okay, calm down. It's just bad. It's just bad look, very cringe. That's precisely the reason why you see all of these fucking people like Sneeko and them use it. Okay, I know you love triggering the pro-Israel crowd. Okay, well, guess what? I don't do any of that shit, and I trigger them even more than fucking Sneeko does. So just do what I'm doing. You don't need to do this shit. Trust me, if you want to piss off the pro-Israel crowd, the best possible thing you can do is be a committed anti-Zionist that does not shy away from saying what he truly believes should happen to the state of Israel or the Zionist entity in particular, while also having firm commitments to fighting against anti-Semitism and every other form of bigotry. Okay? Trust. Think about who Jonathan Greenblatt yells about quite a bit, even if they are anti-Semitic, even if they're maybe subtly anti-Semitic, more subtly anti-Semitic than Nicholas Fuentes or Sneeko or all these other people. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson knows what buttons not to push when he's talking about Israel. Hassan Abi Piker, myself. Literally a lifelong commitment to fighting against all forms of bigotry, including anti-Semitism, and yet my name gets brought up in these conversations. And last but not least, Max fucking Blumenthal, who is Jewish. Okay? So like, if those are your top priorities at the Apartheid Defense League, you're kind of giving the fucking game away. Why have they dropped talking about Nick Fuentes or Candace Owens or Sneeko? Why do they never talk about those people? Because those people are already in the outside group. Those people are not going to be able to convert Zionist Jews and Zionist Christians into a anti-Zionist commitment. They're not going to be able to do that because there are a lot of people who have already, established their position on this, where they're like, well, I think Israel's dope. I think Israel's awesome. It should exist. And especially if you're Jewish, you're never going to listen to a person like that. You're gonna be like, the fuck? Okay, this guy is clearly anti-Semitic. I mean, it's getting to a point where it's like completely out of my hands regardless. I try to do my very best, and I don't shy away from doing this cleanup when I feel like it's a necessity. But the reality of the matter is I'm only one person, and I'm one person that gets fucking attacked non-fucking stop. As a matter of fact, ironically enough, a lot more than a lot of these other people do. So, it's out of my fucking hands. If all of the most powerful forces in American society that are a part of prominent fucking institutions are constantly saying Israel is for Jews, Jews are for Israel, we love Israel, if you criticize Israel, you're anti-Semitic over and over again, yeah, people are going to be like, okay, I guess I'm fucking anti-Semitic. I don't give a shit about the Jews, I've already heard enough about how they control Hollywood or the banking system. Okay, I guess I'm anti-Semitic. And that's where we're at. Cat's out of the fucking bag at this point. It's virtually impossible to educate Americans on principled anti-Zionism, principled anti-imperialism. You know what it reminds me of? Liberalism. It reminds me of liberalism safeguarding the most appropriate ways of being progressive and constantly casting aside any kind of socialist commentary as unacceptable, because liberals are anti-communist, liberals are anti-socialist. And guess what happens in that process? People find themselves in the throes of fucking fascism, because if they want to break the system and they've never even encountered a communist version of events, or they've never even encountered like socialism as an alternative, or they've already been negatively primed against socialism. And slowly but surely, if the more acceptable route that is like anti-establishment is fucking fascist or Nazi or super far right, they move into that direction. And the same goes for anti-Zionism versus anti-Semitism. Zionists have made it impossible to do anti-Zionist commentary for years and years and years, and therefore the most like rigorous anti-Israel voices happen to be anti-Semites. And that's why a lot of people found themselves in the throes of anti-Semitism. If you shut off different options in the discourse and you don't allow it to thrive because you're too worried that it might be captivating and it might actually present a real threat down the line to the established order, well, you've basically created an environment where you did it to yourself, and now the only viable outlet for a lot of Americans is a fascist one. The only viable outlet for a lot of Americans to speak in anti-Israel terms is a Nazi one, is an anti-Semitic one.